It was a humid afternoon, and the luxury car dealership gleamed under the bright showroom lights. The spotless vehicles reflected off the large glass windows, showcasing an air of exclusivity and prestige. John, a humble farmer with a calm expression yet visibly worn-out clothes, stepped inside. The polished floor echoed under his sturdy boots, immediately drawing the attention of the salesman. "Hey, look who just walked in," one of them whispered with a smirk. A few others chuckled quietly, as if his mere presence was amusing. In their eyes, John was out of place, an anomaly in their world of tailored suits and high-priced cars. Yet, John remained unfazed. His gaze swept across the showroom, ignoring the hushed laughter and judgmental stares. He wasn't here to impress anyone. He had a purpose, one far greater than anyone in the room could understand. A salesman, wearing a practiced smile, approached him with a tone that was polite yet dripping with doubt. "Can I help you, sir?" he asked, barely concealing his skepticism. John nodded, his voice steady. "I'm interested in buying a truck." The salesman raised an eyebrow, folding his arms across his chest. "Are you sure you're in the right place?" His eyes swept over John's modest attire, searching for signs that he could actually afford one of their vehicles. John didn't respond. Instead, he continued scanning the showroom, unaffected by the growing tension. He had nothing to prove. He was here for a reason. But how often do we judge others by their appearances? How many incredible stories remain hidden behind simple clothes and quiet demeanors? The dealership became a stage for an important lesson. The muffled laughter of the salesman was a reflection of a much larger problem, a blindness many people have. But John, with his composed and unpretentious nature, felt no need to justify himself. This wasn't just about discrimination. This was an opportunity, an unfolding moment that would soon take a turn no one expected. He walked among the vehicles, the showroom lights making the polished cars gleam like gems. In contrast, he stood there in his old work clothes, looking oddly out of place. But there was something in his eyes that spoke louder than any fabric or outward appearance. He wasn't just looking for a vehicle. He was looking for a dream. His mind drifted elsewhere, to a special place where he and his wife, Mary, had once shared countless hopes and plans. The truck he sought wasn't just a purchase. It was a promise, a symbol of their journey together. "This one looks good. How much does it cost?" John asked, stepping closer to a sturdy, well-built truck that exuded both elegance and strength. The salesman scoffed, his voice laced with sarcasm. "More than you can afford, that's for sure." Before he could continue his arrogant remarks, another salesman, a young man named Jack, stepped in. "I can help you, sir," Jack said with a genuine smile. There was something about Jack, perhaps his empathy, or the way he looked at John and saw something others didn't, that shifted the energy in the room. John ran a calloused hand over the truck's body, his touch reverent. "My wife has always dreamed of something like this," he murmured. "We talked about hitting the road together, going on adventures. But now, she's sick, terminally ill. This truck would be our last ride together." His voice wavered slightly, but he held himself together. Jack listened, his expression softening. He absorbed every word, realizing that this wasn't just another sale. This was a story of love, devotion, and the fleeting nature of time. John's next words held weight. "I know I might not look the part, but I'm prepared to buy this truck. It's all that matters now. She deserves this dream." Jack hesitated, deep in thought. This was no ordinary business transaction. It was something much more profound. The other salesman, now quieter, observed from a distance. Some still skeptical, others beginning to sense the gravity of the moment. And then, Jack did something that stunned everyone, including John. That night, Jack sat alone in his small kitchen, a cup of coffee growing cold beside him. John's story refused to leave his mind. He was young, didn't have much savings, but he knew he had to do something. Maybe it's crazy, he murmured to himself. But sometimes, what seems crazy is what makes us human. The next morning, Jack pulled John aside. "Sir, I've thought a lot about your story. You deserve this truck. Your wife deserves this dream. And I want to help." John's eyes widened. "I'll pitch in with my own money, whatever I can," Jack continued, his voice firm but kind. John was speechless. He looked at the young man as if seeing something rare and unexpected, humanity in its purest form. "I don't know how to thank you," John finally said, his voice unsteady. "You don't have to," Jack replied with a smile. "Just make the journey unforgettable. Give your wife the best ride of her life." And so, a simple act of kindness turned into something far greater. The other salesmen watched from a distance, some shifting uncomfortably, perhaps realizing their own indifference. Jack, however, felt an unexplainable peace, as if he had done exactly what he was meant to do. John left the dealership that day, not just with a truck, but with a reminder. Kindness exists in the most unexpected places. But the story wasn't over yet. Days later, life in the dealership returned to normal. Then, the door swung open, and a sharply dressed man walked in. His polished shoes clicked against the showroom floor, commanding attention. Something about him looked familiar. It was John. The transformation was astounding. His eyes still carried the same calmness, but now there was an air of confidence, a silent strength that left everyone in awe. One of the salesmen who had ridiculed him before swallowed hard. "Can I help you, sir?" he asked, trying to mask his discomfort. John simply raised a hand, signaling that he already knew where he was going. He walked straight to Jack. "Jack, I came back today to say thank you, and to fulfill a promise I made to myself." The other salesman watched in stunned silence. Turning to them, John spoke with quiet conviction. "Some of you judged me by my appearance, but what truly matters isn't something you can see. I always knew who I was. Now, you do too." Then, looking back at Jack, he smiled. "I'd like to buy that car over there, the most expensive one. It's a gift. For you." The room fell into silence. Jack was stunned. "Sir, I can't accept this. You've already given me enough by sharing your story," John insisted. "You helped me in one of the most important moments of my life. This is my way of giving back, to show that kindness never goes unnoticed." The impact of that moment was immeasurable. Jack, with tears in his eyes, took the keys hesitantly, overwhelmed. The other salesman, for the first time, truly understood. Kindness changes everything. And on that day, they all learned something that no sales manual could ever teach. Humanity has the power to transform lives.